If you're listening to this, you might think it's just a story. For me, it isn't. It's what remained after everything else was taken away. That night felt ordinary. Too ordinary to matter. Light rain tapped against the windshield. The road was almost empty, and I was in a hurry. Like always, I was always in a hurry. As if time was chasing me, and I was running just fast enough not to look back. The headlights stretched across the wet asphalt, breaking into reflections that looked beautiful for half a second and then disappeared. All I wanted was to get home, to end the day, to move on to the next one. I didn't know I was about to stop moving altogether. There was a shape ahead, maybe a person, maybe just my tired eyes playing tricks on me. I reached for the brake. The steering wheel slipped. There was a sound metal glass, something heavy, and then nothing. No pain, no fear, just silence. So complete, it felt unreal, like the world had been muted. When I opened my eyes, everything was white. The light was harsh, almost painful. Machines were beeping somewhere nearby. Voices floated in and out, close but distant at the same time. Someone said, I was lucky. Someone said, I had survived. I heard the words, but they didn't land. I was alive. Apparently, it just didn't feel like living. Time stopped making sense. Days blurred into nights, nights into days. Nurses came and went. Doctors checked screens and charts, all of them calm, reassuring, professional. They spoke to me like I was there, but it felt like I was standing a step behind myself, watching it all happen to someone else. Inside, something was hollow, and the more I lay there, the louder that emptiness became. Then one day, he appeared. He wasn't a doctor. He wasn't a nurse. Just a man in simple clothes, sitting in the chair beside my bed, like he belonged there. He didn't introduce himself. He didn't ask how I was feeling. He just looked at me and said, quietly, you kept postponing your life too, didn't you? My chest tightened. I couldn't speak, couldn't move, but he smiled, as if I had answered him out loud. After that, the dreams started. They weren't dramatic. No monsters, no darkness, just moments, small ones. The phone call I ignored because I was busy. The message I never replied to. The apology I planned to give someday. When things were calmer, when I had more time, faces appeared, people I had pushed into the background of my life without even realizing it. Every time I woke from those dreams, he was there. And every time, he asked the same question. If you were given the chance again, would you do it the same way? The hospital began to feel different. The walls seemed closer some days, endless on others. Doors appeared where there hadn't been doors before, but they never opened. I finally asked him how long I would be there. He said, until you stop lying to yourself. I didn't understand. I hadn't committed a crime. I hadn't hurt anyone on purpose. What lie was he talking about? The one that says, later. Later, I'll slow down. Later, I'll say what I really feel. One night, when everything was quiet, I saw myself get out of the bed. But when I looked back, someone was still lying there. It was my body. I turned, and he was behind me. Some people die gradually, while still waking up every morning, he said. I was the part that still had a choice, still fighting. I could go back and live fully, honestly, awake, become nothing more than everything faded. When I opened my eyes again, the ceiling was white. But something was different. I don't know how my story ends, but I know this. Life doesn't change after an accident. And maybe this story isn't just about me, who's been waiting for later. He leaned forward and said the most dangerous lie is the one that sounds harmless. Later I'll call. Later I'll live. I was standing, steady, breathing. My heart raced. He said, not everyone dies in an accident. I asked him who I was then. My body was still breathing, but I was standing at a crossing, or I could stay where I was. And memory of someone who almost lived. The room, the light, his face. The machines were still there. For the first time, I took a breath and felt it. I don't know how much I'll recover, or how many things I'll be able to fix. It changes the moment you wake up. Maybe it's about anyone not realizing that later isn't promised.